And a warm welcome again to the big match. Today, 3 First Division games coming your way. And our main match is the London derby game between West Ham and Arsenal. And what a backup we have for you today. 11 goals from the other 2 games. And one of them is Leeds against Everton. And this is what Peter Lorimer had to say about the Leeds performance yesterday.
Without any doubt, the lads were superb today. In fact, in the second half, we were as good as we've been at any time over the last 10 years, I would say.
Well, some credentials there. One of the best Leeds performances in 10 years, according to Peter Lorimer. And more goals as we bring you the excitement of Wolves against Manchester City. But first we go across to Upton Park, where the teams are already on the field for the First Division game between West Ham and Arsenal. West Ham wanting to recover from that League Cup defeat at home against Spurs in midweek. Arsenal wanting to build on that victory against Manchester United. Let's check on the 2 teams. West Ham without Billy Bonds and Trevor Brooking. Now with Keith Coleman filling the number 4 spot, Billy Jennings getting the number 10 shirt. Coleman will be playing at the back, McDowell will be playing in midfield. As for Arsenal, they're unchanged, and the man looking for celebration here is the West Ham number 7, Alan Taylor. It's a year to the week since he came from Rochdale, and what a year. For Arsenal, there's young Irish striker Frank Stapleton, who looked so good last week. The referee is Gordon Kew of Amersham, and now the crowd is waiting for the start.
So Arsenal kick off, attacking the goal to our right, as indeed they did last week when they scored inside 13 seconds against Manchester United. Something that they're going to find very difficult to beat this afternoon. They're in the yellow strip with the blue shorts. West Ham in their customary claret and blue with white shorts. Mervyn Day for West Ham. Rice. Leary winning that above Jennings and sending Alan Ball on his way. A flick through there towards Stapleton, and some very good covering indeed by Keith Coleman. Good play by Coleman. No Bonds or Brooking in the side, but the strength of the club was very much in its reserves, and Coleman did a really excellent job there. Taylor. Keith Robson, delicate header there for Padden. Robson. Minutes gone. This will be the 4th corner apiece for West Ham. Padden with it. Another outswinger with that left foot, curling out towards the penalty spot. Tommy Taylor couldn't get a header to it. Jennings couldn't get his foot to it. Now McDowell, left foot. Oh, and what a save there by Jimmy Rimmer. Well, a couple of them tried to get their heads to it and couldn't, and it fell then quite invitingly to the feet of John McDowell. Hit it well, and Rimmer was able to parry it, and finally it was clear. Patiently for the ball, Pat Rice behind him. Brian Kidd's backward header. Holland. Misunderstanding there between Robson and Taylor. Nelson. Ball. Story. Rice. Robson to Taylor. Now Brady. Stapleton trying to play the short ball again to Kidd. At the moment the pair of them not really hitting it off so far this afternoon, but here's Alan Ball. Now it's hit again short, and short again, and this time it might come off as Kidd gets it onto the left foot and causes Mervyn Day to make a very good save indeed. But the real quality there was the interpassing between Frank Stapleton and Brian Kidd that eventually left the ball on the left foot of Brian Kidd. A powerful shot, and Day in the way to save the goal. So a corner for Arsenal. got a good record here. In fact, they've lost only one of their last 9 appearances here in the league, and that was last season when they lost 1-0 to the Graham Padden goal. Here comes the corner. Dowell's header. Story trying to turn it back again, and Kidd might get in there with a header. No, disallowed. Disallowed. An offside and no goal. But up well, put it past Day, but it doesn't count. Robson's header back for Lamb. Now can Taylor get there first? But first of all, it was meant for Billy Jennings. I think Arsenal did as well until Taylor sprang onto the scene. He'll be all right. Padden's throw to Keith Robson. Turn out back, but over. Not a bad season for Keith Robson, 5 goals so far. A little bit of injury trouble as well. In fact, West Ham manager John Lyle was telling me he's not, since the start of the season, been able to field a fully representative side without injury niggling somewhere along the line. There's the skipper, doing a skipper's job again, Alan Ball. Another free kick to West Ham. Not taken from exactly the right spot, but near enough, and obviously the spirit of the game, so Gordon Q saw, was that West Ham should reap some advantage from it, so he allowed it to be taken. Good to see. Robson. West Ham's throw. Kevin Locke to Keith Robson. Locke again. Hit in first time and hit in well. Billy Jennings right in there. Taylor there! Goal given! No, offside. Is it offside? No, it's a goal. Well, Pat Rice having a word with the linesman and the referee ordering him away. Alan Taylor, the scorer. The goal given, I'm bound to say, to me, he looks suspiciously offside. And it's something we'll have to look at much more closely as the ball came in, nodded down by Billy Jennings, and he'd already made his move then at Taylor and whacked it past River. West Ham 1, Arsenal 0. Well, that's the lead West Ham wanted. There was a controversy over it. Certainly Taylor did look that little bit offside, but here he goes now, showing all that pace and causing O'Leary to give away the corner. So Padden will take it. Tommy Taylor is up. And Rivers catch. Ball. Getting a little bit involved there. He's obviously upset by that decision that allowed that goal. Got that tight-lipped look that he has so often when things are going badly. And here he is again, Alan Ball. He'll fight his way out of that situation, I'm sure. Offside this time. Keith Robson, Alan Taylor, good ball again. He's playing some balls, this Alan Taylor. Oh, and that was nearly a superb goal by Robson. Lovely ball played by Alan Taylor. Padden pouncing and hitting the early ball in low, and Robson made enormous ground to get there with a diving header that went wide. Well, not sure what that was supposed to be, but the referee, I think, construed that it was 6 of one, half dozen the other. But Dowell obviously felt a little more aggrieved than that. In fact, the referee is going to have a word with Sammy Nelson. Taylor, over his own head. Leary, and a throw to West Ham. Dow, good throw. Robson, good backward header. Jennings trying to climb for it. Oh, and a good save there. And a very good one indeed by Rimmer from Billy Jennings. Jennings hit that one well. Rimmer couldn't have seen it till the very last, but still managed to get in the way again. Padden doing a tremendous amount of work, Graham Padden, in the middle of the field for West Ham this afternoon. Finding Taylor. Good cross again by him towards Jennings, and it'll come for Robson. It still might come for Robson. Oh! And in the end, Nelson content to put it behind. Another of the qualities of Alan Taylor. He does seem to become now such a good crosser of the ball. Several times this afternoon, and that was another case in point. It fell to Robson, and in the end, Robson could make nothing of it. So Padden now trying his luck on that side of the field with a corner. Played short to Alan Taylor. Armstrong. Kidd. Fouling, Story. Come to Stapleton, cut out by Locke. Stapleton again. Now Armstrong. Nelson coming in hard. Oh, some trouble going on there off the ball between Kidd and Coleman. And the linesman being called in, I think, by referee Q to have a word as to what was going on there. I confess I didn't see all of that, it was off the ball. Linesman's given his version. And now Kidd and Coleman get the referee's verdict. Which is a sharp talking to and no more. Crowd don't feel happy about that. They felt that action should have been taken of some sort. And there goes the whistle for half-time. A gutsy first half, good local derby stuff, and a lot of skillful stuff as well. West Ham having the better of the game and getting the one goal that mattered, controversial though it was. Arsenal claiming that it was offside, scored by Alan Taylor, the number 7. Arsenal having had a goal disallowed for offside by Brian Kidd. A lot more to come on the big match this afternoon. A half-time score here at Upton Park. West Ham 1, Arsenal 0. We'll be right back with you with the second half. Welcome back to Upton Park. West Ham now attacking the goal to our right. That one goal up, scored by Alan Taylor. Arsenal with a not very impressive away record. In fact, they've only won once away in the league since last December. That's 11 months. And that was at Sheffield United earlier this season. Well, there, this goal down. And here's Kidd. Story. Well, it might come for Story again. Now Tommy Taylor, and it might come for Story again, but here's Holland. Jennings tried a little touch there for Holland again, but it fell for Sammy Nelson and now for Alan Ball. Stapleton after this, but Locke. A little bit of luck there. But I think Locke has played well and consistently enough to deserve it. Foul that time by O'Leary on Jennings, and Alan Taylor quickly taking the free kick for West Ham, and it's with Pat Holland. McDowell chipping it on. Look at this running by Holland as well. Oh, and a nice little pass turned inside there, and it very nearly fell for Billy Jennings at the first genuine move of the second half there, very nearly bringing West Ham a second goal. Beautiful play right the way through, and in the end Jennings couldn't quite get there to finish it off. But a corner for West Ham. Graham Padden's going to take it. Deep one this time towards Tommy Taylor, but he nudged there. An Arsenal defender as he made his run for that cross. Played for Brady. And now for Nelson. Fouling. Oh, a nice little chip there by Kidd. Fouling. McDowell. Played on for Robson. Chipped in again towards McDowell. Story did remarkably well there for Arsenal. O'Leary. Game picking up a little bit now in this second half, as it goes back again to Jimmy River. Stapleton, another free kick to West Ham. Tommy Taylor to Keith Robson. Ball getting in there. Hasn't had quite the influence on this game, Alan Ball, that he had on last week's. But there's Armstrong with the ball played through, nicely weighted there for Frank Stapleton, and now for Brian Kidd. This looks better for Arsenal. Getting a good cross in as well. And Brady, oh, and a great save! Lovely move there by Arsenal. Kidd swinging that ball in from the right, and West Ham's defence was always under pressure as it finally came out from Brady, guided it, and a brilliant save by Day. There's the cross coming in again. Oh! In fact, there was a foul there. Well, that's woken up the crowd a little bit. They've gone to sleep just a fraction with West Ham on this 1-0 lead. And that shows you how vulnerable a 1-0 lead can be. And of course, West Ham, if they want to keep up their challenge towards the top of the First Division, taking 2 points from every home game is absolutely imperative. So Arsenal still very much in it. Must be a free kick, yes. Just for a spell in the first half, it looked as though the game might not necessarily get out of hand, but become just a little too tough. In fact, for a derby game, it's been played in a very good humour indeed. Robson now trying to get Padden away. Padden really has covered just about every blade on this ground. Legs for it, but he had enough to hustle Arsenal into an error and give away this corner. Taylor right in there, O'Donnell right in there, and Rimmer will gather. Forcing him to kick with his left foot, at least hopefully so, or throw it. Could have been in trouble there. Kidd. Nelson. O'Leary. About 6 minutes to go. Really the sort of time when Arsenal have got to risk everything and push men forward all the more. Fouling. And West Ham will want to preserve this 1-goal lead, but now they're right in there now. Stapleton with a chance, and he's just wide. That really was a good chance there for Stapleton. The ball fell nicely to him on his left foot. And he was about a foot wide. We're in injury time. And there can't be very much of it. It looks as though the one controversial goal is going to be the one that decides it. Mervyn Day with what could be the last goal kick. Indeed it is, as the whistle goes, and West Ham have picked up 2 more precious points as they bid for that Football League Championship, having beaten Arsenal by a goal to nil. The goal scored by Alan Taylor. A disappointing second half, particularly after a rousing first half, and a full-time scoreline then at Upton Park. West Ham 1, Arsenal 0.
And of course a lot more to come on the big match, let me remind you. Goals galore as Leeds face Everton and Wolves meet Manchester City. But first of all, of course, we've got to clear up the controversial points from West Ham yesterday. Why was an Arsenal goal disallowed? And in spite of all those Arsenal protests, why was the West Ham goal given? First of all, the disallowed goal for Arsenal, which I thought first of all was for offside. But we can see here now, as Peter Storey crosses this ball in here at the moment of impact, Brian Kidd on the far side in the light shirt is in an onside position. So why was it disallowed? This perhaps is the answer. As Brian Kidd climbs, he clambers all over Frank Lampard. And although he heads it past Mervyn Day, Gordon Kew absolutely right to disallow it. So disappointment there for Arsenal and their fans. But of course the major controversial point of the whole game was that West Ham winning goal scored by Alan Taylor. Why was that one allowed? Well, as Kevin Locke crosses it and Billy Jennings rises so superbly in that Arsenal penalty area, watch Alan Taylor. Clearly there, it seems, in an offside position, and it would seem that Arsenal's protests were justified. Taylor is becoming so familiar now for West Ham fans, cracking that past Jimmy Rimmer for a goal that proved to be the winner. But as we look at it again from another angle, let's look at something else now. As Keith Robson plays that ball for Kevin Locke, I want you to watch this time the referee, and I'm wondering if there was a suspicion of doubt in his mind about Alan Taylor being in an offside position, because as Billy Jennings rises here, even before the ball is in the net, watch the referee now. It seems to me that the whistle is in his mouth, as though he suspects that there is something wrong with it. But the goal was given, and I think it's worth looking yet again from that same angle behind the goal, because I think you can find something else that might suggest that after all it could have been a valid goal. And it is as Kevin Locke crosses the ball, whether or not George Armstrong, who is challenging him, puts everybody else onside. Here we come now. Here's Kevin Locke about to cross the ball. Watch George Armstrong challenging him now, and I'm wondering if the momentum of George Armstrong there takes him near enough to the byline to suggest that even though the ball comes into the centre here and Billy Jennings, as we've seen before, heads it on, whether Armstrong is perhaps near enough that byline to have played Alan Taylor onside. That's the only clue that I can think, and I'm not at all sure that it will entirely satisfy the Arsenal fans, but I think that that might suggest that the goal was a valid one. I'm quite sure that Alan Ball and company would disagree with that. Nonetheless, though, I got another view on that West Ham goal, and what better than to get it from the man who scored it, of course, Alan Taylor. What was his view of the West Ham winner?
Well, when I made the run, I was definitely in a onside position. And then when it went in the back of the net, they started to appeal.
Did you have any doubts at all in your mind when that appeal went on?
I didn't myself, but when Bill Jennings headed it down, I just turned hit it. So whether I was in offside position or not, I couldn't say. No.
Well, it counted, and that's really what matters.
That's
the referee said it
matters,
was
right,
OK.
yeah.
It's been a remarkable year, because it's a year to this weekend, of course, that you came down from Rochdale, and not very many people knew about you, did they?
That's right, yeah.
A lot of people know about you now.
Well...
When you look back on that year, Alan, what are the things that stick most in your mind?
I think the run in the FA Cup, mainly. But I've enjoyed myself down at West Ham.
In what way?
I get on well with the lads. They're always helping me because they're more experienced than what I am, and I've learnt a lot in the year.
Alan Taylor of West Ham, who had an excellent game, and in spite of that controversial goal, let me also add that I thought that Gordon Kew, the referee, had a very fine game as well. He always seemed to be in sympathy with it, giving it every chance to flow, and that, of course, is what we like to see. Let's have some more flowing action now. What fine action it is as we swing over to the Midlands for the match between Wolves, who are having a dreadful season, and Manchester City, who in the last couple of months have really begun to pick up a bit of form. Stand by then as the pictures come from ATV. The commentator's Hugh Johns. Wolves are in the dark shorts.
Clements. Oh, that was a bad one as far as Barnes. That's really saw Wolves in trouble. Cole finally tidied it up, which was just as well. Mike Bailey. Kindon unmarked in the middle of the park. Away from Watson, couldn't keep it though. Oakes got it. Royal, Tuitt. Monroe takes it out. Steve Daly. This ball fairly flying from one end of the park to the other. Oh, and the shot coming for Kindon. Oh, what a cracker. What a save. Well, that Manchester City defence was caught in all kinds of trouble when the cross came over. Looked as though Hibbert was going to have a bang, but he couldn't. Kindon did, and that was a wonderful reflex action save from Corrigan. Hartford. Joe Royal winning it back for Manchester City. Hartford. Bailey won that well. Watson gets it clear again to Hartford. Oakes. Long for Barnes. This could be useful. Royal and Tuitt tanking up to get into the box. Taking on Maurice Bailey. Crikey, how did he swing that one across the face of the goals? For a moment it looked as though it was going behind, and there it was, right across the face of the goals. And what a bit of luck for Wolves that Manchester City didn't have anybody following up to knock an easy chance in. Tuitt. And that's Oakes. Sorry, called it wrong. It was Doyle. And handle off the line. And the penalty is given. So a chance now for Manchester City. Greatly in many respects against the play to go in front. That corner from Tuitt, smartly struck by Mike Doyle. Handle off the line. Dennis Tuitt's chance to score his 13th goal of the season. And hit the bar. And Hartford has scored it. Asa Hartford scores his 3rd goal of the season. It's 1-0 Manchester City. Well, what a dramatic series of incidents. The corner from Tuitt, the header from Doyle, the handling on the line, the penalty from Tuitt, hitting the crossbar, Hartford heading in the rebound, 1-0 Manchester City, 27 minutes gone. Tuitt now. It's a good cross, cut out by Bailey. Howard. Joe Royal. What a save from behind the line, was it? Royal Sorto. What a remarkable save that was. Joe Royal still can't believe it. Asking for the linesman to confirm that that fantastic save from his header by Gary Pearce was hooked out from behind the line. Hartford. Tuitt. Oakes. Donachie. That goal having put a lot of fresh heart into Manchester City. Tuitt. Against Palmer. Good long cross, aiming for Joe Royal. Hartford. And Tuitt is there. And that's the boy. Barnes has got his goal. Peter Barnes. His 2nd goal of the season. 32 goals. 32 minutes gone. And it's 2-0 Manchester City. Well, there was an awful lot going on then. The cross ball from Tuitt. Royal knocking it back. Hartford trying it. Wolves thought it was going out for a goal kick. Tuitt knocks it back in again, and Peter Barnes is right on the end of it. Monroe. It's Kindon. Watson at his back. Palmer's got a good run on here. Skidding across and no Wolves boot to get on the end of it. Steve Daly against Power. Stuck to his job well, Farley. Well saved, Corrigan again. Oh, the man's on his own this afternoon. Looking for Joe Royle. Off Palmer for the corner. Barnes to take the corner. Peter Barnes. Doyle coming up near post. Tripped by the referee, Hartford to score. What an incredible goal. I have never seen anything like that in my life. Pearce absolutely thunderstruck. And the referee played a significant part in that. And he understands it. The corner comes swinging in. Referee tripped Doyle. Everybody thought that play would be stopped. Ball drops to Hartford. He kicks it in the back of the net. It's 3-0. And Power breaks out for Manchester City. Tuart tanking away to his right. That ball given too much. So McCall was always going to be the winner. Mike Bailey, Joe Royle behind him. And a break on for Tuart. Could this be goal number 4? Yes, it is! Well, there you are. Wolves absolutely punished for a very stupid bit of defensive thoughtlessness. The goal, in fact, won by the challenge of Joe Royle. Dennis Tuart denied the penalty early on, or denied scoring the penalty early on, in fact gets his goal. Goal number 13 this season. And just 2 minutes left to play. A tragic scoreline for Wolves to face now. 4-0 down at home.
So the black clouds really settling over Molineux and Bill McGarry. Now let's move on to more goals and thrilling action as we bring you Leeds United against Everton at Ellen Road. Leeds moving up all the time. Everton now with an 18-year-old goalkeeper, Drew Brand, making his first league appearance for them. The pictures come from Yorkshire Television. The commentators Keith Macklin, Leeds in white.
Mackenzie with 3 defenders. Free kick on the edge. Again, a case of, remember, the referee has to make a split-second decision. And he looked right enough. Inches outside the box. Free kick to Leeds. Lorimer. Yes, the deflection! Lorimer's 9th of the season. Watch the deflection from this shot. Driven hard and low. Off the outside of the leg. Lyons. Hamilton. Latchford over the top of him, and Everton looking pretty dangerous now. Good spell of football from Everton. Good cross just over the top of Latchford. Yorath in possession for Leeds. Yorath getting away from Buckley. Square to Cherry. Frank Gray. There are men in the middle. Kenyon and Mackenzie. Banged away by Lyons. Throw to Leeds United. Quickly taken by Rini to Yorath. Down for Clark. Clark round his man. 2. Clark's finishing when he's in this mood is as clinical as a surgeon's knife.
It was Lyons who fell and gave him his chance, and Clark rarely misses them like that. 2-0. Back header by Latchford, found Telfer. Telfer going well past Frank Gray. And all, is that a penalty? Could well be, yes! Madeley gave it away. I don't think there's a lot of doubt about this. Telfer's past Gray. Now watch Madeley's tackle. Now the men who have scored from penalties for Everton this season are not on the field. Smallman has hit one and Jones has hit one, and neither of them is playing, so who's going to take it? Dave Clements, by the look of it. The ball has not been returned. Yes, it has now. With 5 minutes before half-time, a penalty to Everton, and in the absence of Smallman and Jones, it's David Clements to take it. The crowd booing, but they looked a pretty clear case for a penalty. (2-1). David Harvey saying he wasn't ready. David Harvey is saying to the referee he wasn't ready for that. He was picking bits and pieces. Now Harvey doesn't look quite ready, but Clements certainly is. 2-1. Now, Mr. Burns going across to have a word with the linesman, who may well take Harvey's side. Yes, Harvey has made his point. David Harvey was picking bits out of the goal mouth when Dave Clements took that, and the linesman interceded on his behalf. So Dave Clements has got to keep a cool head and try to do it again. And as Clements walked up there, Billy Bremner had a word with him, and one wonders whether a war of nerves is going on here. The crowd booing, a retaken penalty, a lot of pressure on the Irish temperament of Dave Clements. But he wins, he got through it. It is 2-1, and there's no argument this time. And that penalty took 2.5 minutes to take. Now Reaney. Cherry. Down for Mackenzie. And it's Kenyon. Didn't have enough pace to go behind. Kenyon, Yorath into touch. 1 minute to half-time. Plus, of course, any added time. Sargent. Flick, beautiful flick, beautifully taken from Latchford by Dobson. Madeley. Cherry dropping for Kenyon. Kenyon and his shin scrape. Here's Lorimer. Lorimer getting past Clements. Lorimer goes down. Penalty. Another penalty. This time to Leeds. Clements hustled by Lorimer. Watch again the tackle. Mr. Burns awards his second penalty on the stroke of half-time. Roger Kenyon is, I think, the man down. Let's see what happens here. Now, Mackenzie caught Kenyon. The penalty is about to be taken. Poor Andrew Brown, what an afternoon. Lorimer's the man taking it. 3-1. No goalkeeper in the land can stop those. Yoreth got that back from Hamilton. Eddie Gray. Madeley. Reaney. That was off Kenyon. Yoreth. Clements going for it, so too is Lorimer. Reaney to Yoreth. Cross up for Clark and Eddie Gray. Brand's dropped it. Oh, what a save! Eddie Gray! Eddie Gray again! This time it's in! It took a long time, but it's Eddie Gray's first goal of the season and Leeds United's fourth of the game. The young goalkeeper here made two saves. There's the first one. What's this one? Good save. And Eddie Gray had two bites. Mackenzie trying to flick it past side, it is obstructed. Lorimer has Clements and Dobson. Free kick has been awarded. Floated across for Kenyon's header. A corner. Corner to Leeds United, keeping up the pressure. Clark! Really, this young man, Brand, may have been beaten 4 times. No club could wish for better service from a goalkeeper. Clark's header, pinpoint, terrific save. It'll be taken again. Well, Andrew Brand may feel that he's been thrown into the lion's den this afternoon, but he really has pulled off some terrific saves in this half, and he may be called upon to save another any second now. There, Clark, 5! Brand punched it out the feet of Clark. Clark did the rest. Lorimer mistiming that for Clements. Leeds now having got 5. No need to burst any blood vessels. Darracott. Good flick for Latchford. 2. 5-2. Bob Latchford, who's had such a thin season, gets his 5th goal of the season in the 39th minute. Darracott, Hamilton letting it go through, clipped through for Latchford, and the man who was dropped by Billy Bingham because he couldn't score goals gets one.
Brilliant, and that's why Peter Lorimer told us that it was one of the best Leeds performances for 10 years. That's it, 3 games, 12 goals, bit of controversy, some wonderful skills all packed into the last hour. Well, also in the last hour, we've seen a few penalties. Now, you'd think that there could be nothing more straightforward than firing the ball in from 12 yards, wouldn't you? But just consider what we've seen today. Of course, when Peter Lorimer takes a penalty for Leeds, it's usually straightforward enough.
The penalty is about to be taken. Poor Andrew Brand, what an afternoon. Lorimer's the man taking it. 3-1.
But we've also seen a goalkeeper who wasn't ready for a penalty.
2-1. David Harvey saying he wasn't ready. David Harvey is saying to the referee he wasn't ready for that. Now, Mr. Burns going across to have a word with the linesman, who may well take Harvey's side. Yes.
And when he was ready, it made no difference at all.
The crowd booing. A retaken penalty. A lot of pressure on the Irish temperament of Dave Clements. But he wins. He got through it.
And we've seen how Manchester City needed 2 men to score from the spot.